What's up, Mech fans, and welcome back to the channel. So at the end of last week, the Gundam Fortnite collaboration was dropped within the game. It is essentially a team v team game mode titled Red versus Blue. One team of course being the Earth Federation, the other being Zeon, and then you have the Gundam EX and the Zaku 2 F-Type Solari going up against one another. Over the past weekend, I spent a little bit of time playing it, so today I'm going to give my thoughts on it. But before we dive into that, please do leave a like on this video and subscribe if you're a fan of Mecha anime content and want to see plenty more videos like this in the future. Also, head on down to the comments section below. If you've had a chance to play it, then let me know your thoughts on it as well. Normally, I don't like to be outright negative when talking about anything on the channel. I like to talk about the positives of things where there are. Of course, if it's a largely negative opinion that I have on things, then of course it is going to be relatively negative. With this though, there's really nothing good that I can truly say about it. This feels like one of the most half-assed collaborations I've seen in a while, especially since it was announced back in July, in San Diego Comic-Con, and now it's coming out, 6 months later nearly. I was expecting at least something substantial from this, but my god, it is not good. The game mode itself is fairly straightforward. All you're doing is capturing control points, you're racking up points that way, you're also trying to get kills. I think it's the first team to like 100 kills overall wins that round. It is a basic game mode that, you see in like most other multiplayer games. Call of Duty's always had it. Any other first person, third person shooter, they usually have these types of game modes. They kind of just put a Gundam skin on it, which would be okay if the actual Gundam elements implemented into it were way more effective than they are. To go alongside the fairly straightforward and cliched game mode, the map is also not that exciting. Two different sides, of course, you kind of all converge in the middle in some ways. There's points around, it's the typical like three direction thing where you can go down the middle, you can go left, you can go right. That's a tried and true formula when it comes to shooters, especially within like a small map. The problem comes in when you have an incredible amount of lighting glitches. If you go into any of the buildings, chances are you will not be able to see where you are walking because the lighting in them is truly horrific. And even in the main area, even in the outside, the lighting is also really bad. It almost tries to capture the feeling of Requiem for Vengeance, which is generally like a dull looking show, intentionally so, but the lighting in that show is not bad. You can see what's going on for the most part. With this, they try to capture that, but it just doesn't work because you can barely see anything. If you're looking out for enemies like on the map from afar or anything like that, you can hardly see them. Add to that, you have unlimited building within this, and people like to build in Fortnite and it gets very frustrating. You just end up with all these structures around the map and you can barely see where anyone is. Aside from the lighting glitches though, the game mode itself feels so poorly optimized because there are so many glitches that I've came across, and I'm talking like game-breaking ones. I didn't play this game a whole lot. I played maybe in total like 10 rounds or something like that, but I would say a good half of those I had to quit. There's 3 that have really stood out to me. One's only happened like a couple of times, one of them only ever happened once, but the other one happens in almost every game. Sometimes it fixes and sometimes it doesn't. Starting off with the one that's only happened once, for some reason when I was grappling I ended up flying up in the air and just constantly going. I could not respawn or anything like that, so I just had to quit. The other glitch is after being in the mobile suit, which we'll talk more about soon, essentially you have to respawn once that whole scenario concludes. I didn't respawn properly, and again I couldn't like die or anything like that, so I had to quit the game and then go back into another match. The most prominent glitch though is when I can only shoot at eye level. So if I aim upwards, I cannot shoot upwards, and when you're coming up against enemies that can either jump around or they can build, you're dead. It's incredibly frustrating. But now let's get on to what should be the selling point of this game mode, and that is the mobile suit events that take place in it. It is the laziest, most underwhelming thing, most disappointing experience you will ever witness in your life. To give you a good idea of how these scenarios play out, the player on either side who gets the most points from capturing control points gets to pilot it. But all you do is select from a choice of 4 different areas at 3 points across a pre-laid path until both mobile suits come up against each other and fight in a cinematic that you have 0 control over. So to put it simply, you're just watching a cinematic play out. There's practically nothing going on there, and there's no reason to want to, collect loads of points, to then pilot the mobile suit, because nothing happens. And most of the time you don't really get any kills because it's only select points, and most of the time people aren't at those points. Like I said, it's the most disappointing thing imaginable. Everyone, when they announced that they're doing a Gundam game mode in Fortnite, there was an exciting element to that. It's like, okay, how's the mobile suit action going to play out? How are we as players going to get to control this mobile suit? And you don't really control it. There's only one way of putting this thing.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
In case it wasn't already obvious, don't waste your time with this. I've played a good amount of it. I don't really intend to play much more, if any, to be quite honest. It's such a disappointing experience for a collaboration that could have been really cool. They could have just added Gundam skins into Fortnite, adding Amuro and Char, and everyone would have been so much happier than whatever this thing is. But those were my thoughts on the Gundam Requiem for Vengeance and Fortnite collaboration. Before I get out of here, please do leave a like on this video and subscribe if you are a fan of mecha anime content and want to see plenty more videos like this in the future. Also, like I said earlier, head on down to the comments section below. If you've had the misfortune of experiencing this game mode, then let me know if you think it's quite as bad as I did, or did you actually quite enjoy it, which is fair enough. If you've had a good time with this, I'm not going to take that away from you. I'm actually kind of envious of you in many ways. Thank you once again for tuning into Mecha Chat today, and I'll see you guys next time.